Thursday was a good night for Kris Boyd, and Thursday was a bad night for Chris Sutton. But what did the two of them have to say to each other during the coverage? Well, it's time to dive into it here on Fog Football, because guess what, guys? We have to. You know, Kris Boyd, he has had no ammunition, which feels like about 12 years. It is like he's lying on the Eastern Front, the snow is coming down, and he needs something. And a wee bit of heat is what he got. It's went from -14 to -11. We tried to go with a war analogy there. Did it work? I don't know. It probably didn't. But anyway, Kris Boyd loves it. He had half a smile on his face last night, but he also knew the reality is that they're still 11 points behind. But let's dive into what Kris Boyd had to say. And I quote, I think sometimes we look at it and analyse it and say Celtic were really poor. Today, you just have to give Rangers credit. I thought they were excellent today, but Rangers fans were out there saying, where has this performance came from? Because we've not seen it for a period of time. We've seen it in Europe on a Thursday night. It pops up and you might think there's a chance for Rangers to kick on. You look at the next fixtures, they go to Easter Road, they're at Dens Park on Thursday night, then Aberdeen come here, Ibrox, Clement will learn about his team. They can get themselves up for big games. End of quote. It's like, right, can we get ourselves up for big games though? I mean, Boyd says that like they get... Yeah, got ourselves up for the game on Thursday, right? A lot more compared to last Thursday in the weekend there, like St Mirren and Motherwell. But what about Aberdeen? That game at Punditry, the arse completely went in that game. Like, so, don't want to try and spin this into like, oh, they only turn up for the big game. I mean, there's a lot of big games. I mean, last season we bottled every big game towards the end of the season, so I would like to distance that sort of talk. Sutton, though, did chime in and he said, are you backing Big Phil now? End of quote. Big Boyd dove straight in and said, and I quote, I think when Rangers don't have the ball, they are more effective. When they don't have the ball, they are not asked to break teams down. I mean, Celtic were open today, but you need to find a way of consistently breaking teams down here, and you need to do that. I have just heard he has signed a new deal. Ha ha ha. For Kris Boyd there, obviously talking about the big man. Talking about the big man. The big man. Big Phil. Big Phil we trust. I don't trust him. Honestly, I would still sack Philippe Clement. As great as last night was, it doesn't get away from the... I mean, it was the 7th attempt, right? He was going to have to beat them eventually. And therefore, you know, still, it was a great win, but I'm not going to sit here and pretend everything's alright with Phil. Like, he literally threw 5 points away in the 2 games prior. And I am pinning it on him. Because see, at the end of the day, he's the one that tinkered with the team, left players out, and did this, and did that, and didn't pick correct starting 11s in both games. The first halves did kill us, particularly Motherwell, because we were 2-0 down. St Mirren, that was more a 90 performance than the Motherwell game, if we're being brutally honest. Sutton dived in though and said, are you backing him now though? You said before the game that it was just a matter of time. But now after that performance, which side of the fence are you on? There was awkward silence, but Boyd fired back, I'll answer after you, because you said the same. Sutton said, I asked you first. And then Ellie Barber jumped in and said, have we descended to that? I asked you first, no you did. Why doesn't Kris Boyd... I don't understand why Kris Boyd just can't turn around and say, well, you know what, actually, it's a good win tonight, but in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't mean a lot, and I still think he probably needs to go. Or if he wants to back him, just back him. I don't know why Boyd needs to beat around the bush. Like Sutton, why didn't Sutton just come out and say what he thinks? It's like, what? We do see like a weird thing in football punditry that they never really, like pundits in the studio never really go for the manager's throat. They never go, he needs to go, it's a disgrace, how's he not been sacked yet? Because I mean, we've been in that territory with Clement quite a few times this season. You know, we were in it in October, we were in it in November, it went away for a wee bit, then the cup final happened, should have probably been sacked right then, once you lose that. Then the Motherwell and St Mirren mess happens, he should have been sacked after either one of them. And now he's beat Celtic, but the reality is, I still think he should be sacked, but there's not a chance he's getting sacked after beating Celtic. He's going to be given this window. I think that game has guaranteed Phil to the end of the season. I want your thoughts down below, guys. Do you agree with that? I can't see him getting sacked, honestly. It needs to happen for me, but it's like, Phil needs to learn, and he needs to learn quick. But the reality is, he's been given a lot more time than Beale. He's been given more time than Gio, and it's like, is he? We're not even better off, honestly. It's just that the better players are beginning to play more, and that's having an impact. Anyway, oh, I'm holding that sneeze in there. I can feel it coming. I was trying to wrap this food up. I couldn't get it done in time, man. Anyway, peace.